Hi Capricorn. Welcome to your March reading. Saturn has moved into Pisces. And you're getting ready for a makeover at home. You're activated. You want your aesthetics updated. You want it to reflect how you feel now. Your vision, in fact, is so clear that it can make you a bit bossy, a little overbearing. You can be quite stubborn and intractable because your vision is clear. When you know what you want, and it's fairly certain that you're going to delegate authority and put the pieces together and get what you want. In this case, get it to feel like home. Get it to feel stable. Turn that Nine of Pentacles around into a solid foundation. Now, if you've already got a solid foundation, you still want to reshape things. Some of you may even be interested in rehashing the past because you have this new outlook now. You have this new feeling. And it makes sense that you would want to retroactively go back and apply what you've learned to what's happened in the past. You want answers, you know? And on that road of connecting these wisdoms, you may find that you're a little bit preoccupied, a little bit melancholy, a little bit sad, need a little space, feeling a bit betrayed. Hey, if you can't trust the people closest to you, who can you trust? Maybe it's more than just the aesthetic of home. Maybe if we dig a little deeper, we find that the feeling of home has been disrupted. Our peace has been disrupted. And we can't help but think that if we could change our mindset, if we could apply this new mindset to everything that has gone before, my gosh, we could have been that much more happy and that much more successful. But this retroactive shaming does nothing. And I think the only reason you're doing it is because as you search for these answers and the melancholy overtakes you, it's like you're walking in circles. You can't make sense of it. And then on the 16th, Taurus will welcome Venus. And that gives you the words you need to connect, to say what's really in your heart, to be able to say what you feel without being afraid of embarrassment or judgment. Much of what you discover in March has to do with your own mindset of fear that kept you in a situation far longer than it should, whether that situation was isolation, being in the wrong living space, being in the wrong workspace. You see the error of your ways, and there's no need to be sad about it. Connect with people. Tell them how you feel. Tell them how your thinking has changed. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to look stupid. Don't be afraid of looking thirsty. Don't be afraid to seem dramatic. The melancholy and the sadness is there. Don't fight it. Just understand that anything that's coming up right now, it feels like this because now you have the key, you understand something. And you can't help but go, again, retroactively judge yourself. It's very difficult for you to get out of that rut. Now, between the 20th and the 30th of March are your look cute days. In those 10 days, it's very, very possible that you'll meet someone important. Doesn't necessarily have to translate into being a love partner, but it is someone who helps you heal. Whether that's sexually, emotionally, financially, this person becomes a large influence in your life. And you meet them in that 10-day period. So just keep an eye out for that as well. It's exciting. Now, on the 25th, Mars is going to move into Cancer. And that, for you, Capricorn rising, is across from you. Right? And when Mars moves into Cancer, the game changes. And the only thing that matters, it's not what you did, it's why you did it. The only thing that matters is intention. It's all about intention. And if you feel like whatever party is involved with you doesn't want things to work out, if you feel like your parent, your sibling, your romantic situation, that their intentions are not true, that they are just trying selfishly to fill their own cups, you might want to get some distance. Distance actually, now that Saturn's moved into Pisces, actually becomes a really big thing. Working hard and saving up, making sure you have enough so you can go and have your own life space, personal space, living space. It's all about space. And it makes sense because your mind is expanding, your habits are changing, and if you've recently had to think about the idea of sharing your space with somebody, or finally getting away from somebody, you're in luck. Saturn in Pisces will help you do just that. Now, in the extended, we're going to talk more about that intention with Mars in Cancer. Don't worry, we'll come back to it. Now, let's talk about money. So financially, things are in flux for most of the month. But don't worry, it's all just a setup. So from the 19th onward till the end of the month, it's the perfect time for you to renegotiate any sort of deal you have. Doesn't matter if you already negotiated a price, you can renegotiate, and you should. For the most part, if you are sane in your asks, you're going to get what you want, inshallah, so that's great. Why should you renegotiate? Well, we'll talk about confidence in the extended, but your confidence right now is very compelling, especially at the end of the month, and it can carry you through some big deals. So just remember to renegotiate. Just don't go with the first price. Okay? Now, on the 23rd, Pluto's going to move into Aquarius. And your relationship to money changes. You evolve past materialism in the most delicious way. And I think it's going to throw a lot of people off. And I'm really excited about it. And it's actually the theme of your extended. What are we going to talk about? Well, when Pluto moves into Aquarius, it asks you a very basic question. Was it worth it? Was what worth it? The sacrifice of time, the sacrifice of that time spent with family, the sacrifice of emotional well-being, the sacrifice of your health, all of the resources you used, the life energy, the emotional energy, to get to the top of the mountain. Was it worth it? Now, since you have either matriculated, graduated, gotten that better job, however you got to the top, since we're there, mashallah, and it's wonderful. It may seem like an odd question. Yeah, well, obviously it was worth it. I got all the way up here. I didn't do all this for nothing. And Pluto in Aquarius begs to differ. Pluto in Aquarius starts to put some very interesting ideas in your mind about the new relationship to material, your new relationship to money. See, Pluto in Aquarius has been waiting quite some time while being in Capricorn to well, how do I put it? It's been waiting a long time to reorganize your priorities, but it's well aware that the patient has to survive the cure, and it's well aware of its own MO and how it deals with issues. So, when we say that our relationship with material and money changes, what you're applying there, of course, is that the nature of your ambition changes as you understand and evolve your relationship with the material. The impetus to go get that material also changes. So ultimately, Saturn moving into Pisces and Pluto moving into Aquarius asks, who are you if you are not this workahol, ambitious, if that's not your identity, huh? Who are you? Underneath the ambition, underneath the drive, underneath the stress, underneath the success. Not if you were to strip it all away. It's not trying to take anything from you. This becomes a philosophical exercise that then becomes, right, and it coalesces and cascades into the real world. The time spent, the energy spent, the blood, sweat, and tears of it all, was it worth it? Did that material ultimately give you something back? Was that material as valuable as what you may have missed for it? Now, these are really difficult conversations. You know, that really amazing movie, Train to Busan, that zombie movie from South Korea, it's about this exact concept. All that material that we're working for, where does it get us really? And does it make any difference in those particular facets of life that end up being so much more important than anything else? So if you're really attached to material, if you're really attached to the riches of this world, to the dunya, as we say in Urdu and Arabic, then this transit can be hard, because you're going to have to find a way to see through that love. Now, this may send you into a bit of a identity spiral. Who am I without all that? I thought that's what made me who I am. And Pluto says, well, no, it doesn't. Why don't we find out together who is under there? You can approach that with a lot of excitement. It can be something really cool and inspired. Or you can be terrified, and you can cling desperately to every little bit of material that you have, hoping that it won't go away. That's the thing, it won't go away. This isn't a Saturnian lesson. This is a thought exercise that leads you ultimately to make changes in your life that are very beneficial for you. Because they're coming right out of your heart, these decisions, these wants. That's what makes March so important. That makeover may begin with your home space. It may translate into your relationship with others. But ultimately, it revitalizes your relationship with what you thought was your lifeline. And maybe you realize that you don't need one, that you are one. Yes. And you thought I wasn't gonna do it? You thought I wasn't gonna do it, huh? You thought I wasn't gonna do it? I did it. I love you.